What's going on, guys? My name is Ninja Cowboy, aspiring Apex Legends coach. I'm going to be going over really quickly what are some small tweaks and some small changes that you and your team can make to your playstyle so that you can pick up more wins in ranked and start climbing that ladder. Roll the intro. Alright, so let's talk about the number one biggest thing that people don't understand when they're playing ranked mode. Absolutely nothing else matters other than positioning. Now, am I referring to camping or am I referring to positioning? A lot of people are going to hear that and they're instantaneously going to think all he's talking about is getting in a building, Watsoning it up, dropping interceptors and caustic traps and all this crazy shit, just hiding in a building and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. No, that is not necessarily what I'm talking about. Is that a good way to do it? I mean, it's unavoidable. It's just the way it is. Camping is a better way to get positioning. Let other teams fight it out and you take advantage of the fights. But what's more important is having that dominant positioning, because you could say that Watsoning up a small 1x1 shed with a door on each side and then just putting traps all around and 2 interceptors in there so that they can't nade you would be a good idea. Is that a good idea? Absolutely not. Any team with a slice of brain cells and 2 hours of experience in the game is going to know how to bust you out of that bunker. What's more important is approaching fights from that high ground, playing with separate angles from your team, having that sniper positioned on the high ground while the rest of your ARs or your subs are down a little bit lower to hold the push to give your sniper enough time to hit those lanes. Taking advantage of the third parties. All of these are extremely important assets to understand when you're playing in ranked mode with a team, by yourself, whatever it is. So a pretty solid example of what kind of positioning can really change the pace of a game. So let's just take bunker, for example. Let's say you're pushing bunker. You're either pushing bunker because you want to loot, or you're pushing bunker because you want to get to the other side, go to bunker town, you want to play the zone, whatever it is. A prime example of how you would want to play bunker is you always want to approach bunker from the high side. If you're going into bunker and you don't have any information on teams that are in the area and you're coming in from low side, so for those of you who don't know, so the side that's airbase is the high side, and then it goes downstairs to the side that's what I call bunker town. And if you're approaching it from low side and you don't have any information, you don't know if there's another team on the other side, do not go into bunker. That's putting yourself in a bad position, in a low ground position to where you're fighting high as opposed to fighting from the top of the stairs and shooting down. You always want to be shooting down at your targets. The more that you're fighting from high ground to low ground, the better you're going to be guaranteeing those fights for you and your squad to pick up another squad wipe and move on to the next fight. So from that, where do we transition, right? Some people think that grenades are some of the most important things. Some people think that the guns you have are the most important thing, or your armor, and those are all important factors. But what we really want to be looking at is your team composition, and what does your team composition enable you as a player or as a team to do. So one of the big things that we could talk about is Pathfinder and Wraith. Do you need one? Do you need both? How do we work that into our team comp if we don't have someone that necessarily plays either of those characters? So what I'm going to say personally, a Wraith is almost 100% guaranteed if you think you can make it to the top 3. A Pathfinder is helpful, but not necessary. Now, why is that? Why do I say that? So late game, what you're really going to be doing late game, whether you agree with camping or you don't agree with camping or whatever it is, I don't care what you say, you're not going to climb the ladder as well if you're not using movement from building to building and playing cover effectively. If you're just running at enemy teams while they're setting up in smart positions and getting bunkered in, you're going to get destroyed 9 times out of 10. So congrats to those of you who can just rush other teams and your raw talent and your mechanical skills are at a level where you can counteract those bunker comps. But for those of you like myself, who I'm not a mechanical god like Dizzy or Shroud, but I play the game smart. I play positioning. I hit shots where I need to. I take fights when they're smart. So what do Wraith portals enable in lining up with that mindset? If your team is bunkered in here, right? So they're bunkered in a building right here. You have all your Watson traps. You have your interceptor down. And you see the zone cuts you off right here. And then there's another building, let's say 100 meters away. So what a Wraith is going to enable you to do is that even if there are teams bunkered in between that building that you're trying to reach, the only person you have to send out is Wraith to portal from inside your building, shoot straight across as fast as she can, use her Wraith form if necessary, and then drop a portal in the second building. That gives her scouting to see if a team is already occupying that and you didn't know. That also gives you freedom of movement so that you can get from one building to another without ever having to leave the room. You're not risking taking damage, you're not risking burning resources, and that's probably the biggest aspect of it. Is if you're burning your resources like your shield cells, your syringes, your med kits, your batteries on a movement from building to building, it's a waste when you have a Wraith portal that can get you there with immortality. Now, Pathfinder. Some people say, oh, well, Pathfinder's huge because playing high ground is very, very big. You know, getting to high grounds that not necessarily a team without a Pathfinder can get to. So I agree. That is helpful, but is it necessary? No. Almost every high ground in the game, other than Godspot by Slum Lakes, you can get to without a Pathfinder. You can, you know, climb from building to building and jump across, or climb up on fences and get to the walls. And if you don't know how to get to these spots, look it up on YouTube. All the walls on Airbase are accessible to any player. You just have to know how to get there. All the walls on Repulsor are a little more difficult, but there's a redeploy, a jump tower not far that you can get to any of those walls from. So all the high grounds in the game that you would think you need a Pathfinder for are accessible to any player. You just have to know how to do it. Now, who do we want our third to be, right? So let's say Wraith is necessary, Pathfinder's iffy, but if you have a good Pathfinder player, why not play him? Now, who's our third? So having 2 mobility characters, it's good, but it doesn't bring a lot of other utility. You have your mobility with Wraith, or you have your mobility with Pathfinder. Pick one or the other, and then open up your other 2 slots to increase your utility. So get your caustics, right? Get your caustic traps down. Get your Bangalores to get your smoke grenades and your barrages for disengagements, right? Bangalore's beautiful for disengagements or safe looting. And then you've also got your lifelines for your in bunker healing. I think people underestimate how useful a lifeline is when it comes to late game, because you don't have to burn syringes, you don't have to burn medkits. She can just keep dropping her health drone to you and healing you up. Now all you have to worry about is carrying shields. So where before you might 2-stack medkits and 2-stack syringes, now you only have to 1-stack each, because you have a lifeline there who can just keep dropping that health drone for you in your bunker, keep healing up, keep you fresh, and keep fighting. But Wattson. Let's talk about Wattson and how she's affecting ranked. So I'm personally not going to call her overpowered. I don't think she's overpowered. I think she's strong. I think she's a good character, but her fences are very vulnerable and her interceptors are huge. And if you shoot them anywhere on the interceptor, you can destroy them in a, 1 magazine, some guns, maybe 2 magazines, depending on what you're using, but they're fairly easy to destroy. And the fact that they heal shields is almost irrelevant because of how slow it happens. If you're pushing in fast and you're in a 1v1, that little bit of shield healing is going to help, but it's not going to drastically turn the tables of a fight. Now, do I think every single ranked team should have a Wattson player on it? 100%. There's nothing anyone could say that would make me think that a Wattson isn't, in her current state, absolutely necessary for a ranked match as of right now. She can fence up doors, she can fence up hallways, she can drop interceptors, which pop grenades. It also saves you shield cells and shield batteries, because before you only have to pop 1 shield cell and then 2 shield cells and then let her interceptor bring you up to the rest of your full shields. But stopping grenades is huge. Before Wattson came into the game, all those late games and elite queues, if you were playing with really, really strong players, all it was hiding in buildings and then throwing a million nades in there to get them out. Now with Wattson, you can intercept her down, and they actually have to take a gunfight, whereas before they could just nade you out. I mean, they even stopped caustic ultimates, which is absolutely awesome. The Nox gas, that would have changed the ranked play for in a lot of ways. Some people might like that, some people might want that more, but I mean, we'll see. The dev team at Respawn is definitely going to be making some changes to Wattson. I don't think she's going to be able to put down as many fences soon. I don't think she's going to be able to have 3 interceptors down at once. Lots of things are going to be happening to Wattson, but as of right now, if you are running ranked and you want your Wattson, if you want your rank to keep climbing and you don't want to get stuck in gold, stuck in silver, stuck in plat, then you need to be running a Wattson and get bunkered in. You don't need to sit in a bunker for long, but having somewhere to fall back to if your team is getting destroyed is a very, very strategical move on your part. If you always have somewhere to fall back, it's about as strong as you can possibly make it. Now, the last thing I want to wrap up on is how do all three of these legends come together to make you an effective ranked player? So Pathfinder, Lifeline, Caustic, Watson, Wraith. Bangalore, if I didn't say her. Those are the only legends you should really be playing. Bloodhound does not have a place. Gibby does not have a place. Whoever else on Octane, he's good, he's fast, but he does not fit into ranked play. So combining all of these characters gives you so much versatility in movement, in play style, in positioning, to where you're always going to be able to edge off your team. Bringing it all back to positioning, constantly having versatility in movement and versatility in bunkering is absolutely pivotal to your positioning play. So you can get on high ground, pylon off with Watson your back, pylon your back, put an interceptor down, and then have Pathfinder and Wraith give you alternate means of escape. So have your Pathfinder put some zip lines down preemptively so that you guys have an escape route. Have your Wraith always be ready in that mindset to drop you a portal and get you maneuvered to another position. That way you always have a way out and you always have a way in. That's the most important thing. Always have a way out, always have a way in. Get that good high ground position, get those angles worked, and always have a sniper on your team. So that's just the basics in positioning. I'll also be doing a what guns to use and what kind of kits you want each of your teams to have. So if you guys are interested in any of that, please drop a subscribe down below. This was a quick video. Just wanted to get something out there for all of you guys that are struggling in ranked play. I'll drop something more in depth if you guys like it. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if you want something more in depth on ranked play. And if you're interested in coaching, please hit me up on Twitter. All my links will be in the description below. I appreciate you for stopping by. This is Ninja Cowboy. Peace out, homies.